How to be more masculine and manly by developing authentic masculinity. Manliness and masculinity are options. You didn't inherit it from your parents. Your sexual orientation, race, social status, or background are unrelated to it. It is a way of living, a deliberate choice to act and think in accordance with a fundamental set of principles and qualities. Biology has a lot to do with becoming a man. Men can choose to be more or less. You may do this by developing the kind of strong, grounded man that your predecessors would be proud of. A man who is admired by other men and sought after by women. You have 7 choices you must make. 1. Make a move. Talk is cheap. The masculine energy is primarily action-oriented. Construction from the ground up, imposing your will on the world while trying to be decent. Taking big steps toward the life you want and persevering through setbacks without losing enthusiasm. But this instinctively masculine urge has all but been extinguished by the modern society. The time when the activity served as the only criterion for acceptance and validation is long past. Today, with the click of a button and a few keystrokes on a keyboard, we can share our objectives with the world, post them on social media, and win the admiration and applause of thousands, without doing anything to really accomplish them. True, corrupted masculinity, however, does not support platitudes. It is not moved by ambition or aspiration. Just action. There are many talkers and thinkers in the world today. People with immense potential and potentially revolutionary ideas, who lack the courage to face opposition and actually realize that potential. But you need to go past this. No goodness exists in your potential. Your opinions are irrelevant. And your objectives are as unimportant as an ant that is trampled underfoot. Bold, forward-moving, resolute action in search of something higher than yourself, is the only thing that counts and the only thing with which you should worry yourself. You must rise above the internet noise of hopeful dreamers who want to show the world what they will one day become if you want to learn how to be a man. Instead, you need to act. Don't discuss your desire to get in better shape and lose weight. Grab a damn barbell. Don't broach the subject of your one-day dating life. Set your feet in front of a lovely woman and greet her. Never discuss the company you're going to establish or the career you're going to launch. Go make the thing right now. Fortune favors the brave, and a full life belongs to the doer. Talk less and act more. 2. Dare greatly or perish regretting it. Comfort is just for the weak-hearted. Men are made weak by the way our modern lifestyles are designed. With the touch of a button or the swipe of a plastic card, even the smallest hassles vanish. Too warm? AC on or dive into the pool. Unwilling to walk? Make an Uber call as you play games on your phone and pass the time away. Hungry? Use a delivery service to place a dinner order. Although I could not live without the comfort and ease of the contemporary world, they have had unexpected repercussions. Modern men are seldom, if ever, required to endure daily hardship. The majority of us can live our lives in a state of eternal ease, barring accidents, fatalities, and other calamities. And this comfort is slowly but surely killing us. We have become numb to hardship, powerless to overcome even the simplest difficulties, and soft, weak, and impotent. After all, why put in the effort to grow stronger and take risks when you can just tune out with the newest Netflix original and watch a show that radiates the emotions you desire? However, comfort is the antithesis of authentic masculinity. It neither wants nor accepts a cozy, routine existence. It calls for challenge. It yearns for the chance to face off against the forces of the world and triumph. In a society where women rule, being a man does not necessitate shunning all luxury or comfort. Simply put, you intentionally seek out discomfort and go through it in order to develop your spiritual calluses and demonstrate your fortitude. Additionally, you can carve yourself time and space on your own schedule to pursue deliberate discomfort by taking use of the modern world's comforts and conveniences. Shower in the cold. Lift heavy objects. Take a solo weekend trip to the mountains. Develop your hunting and wilderness survival skills. Attend a class in kickboxing. Observe a brief fast. Challenge yourself to give up the thing you cannot live without when sober. Do something to challenge your comfort zone and feel the rush of surpassing your own perceived barriers. 3. Be unreasonable and bend your reality to your own desires. You have been subjected to lies and partial truths about what it takes to be successful since you were a little child. The lovely housewife, the 2.3 children, the luxury sedan. These goals are perfectly valid, but for many men, this image represents their own personal hell rather than a shining portrayal of achievement. Despite the fact that every cell in our bodies is screaming, "This is not me," we are encouraged to pursue it with tenacious resolve. The kind of masculinity we aspire to and appreciate, though, is honest more than anything else. It resists social influences and does not give in to popular demands. It is blatantly true to who it is. You don't want a routine 9-to-5 job, a lousy relationship, or a life that is only halfway decent. You desire more. You seek excitement, challenge, and a sense of aliveness. You want to starve to death and abandon everything above ground. So that, upon reflection of your life, you will be able to exclaim, "Ah, what a wild voyage it was, now I shall rest," when the time comes. But in order to live this life, you must reject the present situation. No matter how hurtful it is to those you love or the rest of the world, you must stand up for yourself and your own desires. No one who accomplished something noteworthy or extraordinary was ever initially understood. For having the bravery to forge their own path, people like Elon Musk, Teddy Roosevelt, Abraham Lincoln, even Joe Rogan and David Goggins, were labeled as mad, foolish, and insane. They are heroes in today's world. The same people who formerly criticized them for being unreasonable now praise them as models of bravery and tenacity. And the plain truth is that you won't be understood in your own life. You will face rejection and vilification the moment you choose to forge your own course, to reject the status quo, and to live an authentic life in line with your deepest wishes. Your relatives will judge you. You will lose friends. People will initially mock you in society. However, you cannot let other people's viewpoints influence you to lead a life that you do not want. You must instead follow your own path and goals without doubt or fear. Because, at the end of the day, the most irrational man is the purveyor of true masculinity. The men who have a fire within of them and are willing to reject the current quo in search of something bigger. The men who take risks and have faith that, in the end, everything will turn out for the best. 4. Don't be toxic. Masculine urges can take one down a perilous path if left untreated and untamed. And the best place to see this truth is in the current political and social climate. Unashamedly hypermasculine businesses plunder our world and its resources in order to maximize profits for their stockholders, paying little attention to the long-term effects of their decisions or how they may affect future generations. Because they feel they deserve anything they want, whether or not they have the agreement of the women in their networks, seemingly manly celebrities and global icons abuse and take advantage of them. Name-calling and dick-swinging have replaced constructive and enlightening discourse in our present political discourse, which is characterized by an unhealthy degree of major competition, guiding us in the wrong direction and obstructing the possibility of genuine change. Even a cursory glance at the present world makes it quite clear why liberal and feminist experts have consistently denigrated masculinity. Even the mere mention of how to be more manly or how to be masculine is met with hostility and ridicule. I understand it. Because, when unchecked by kindness and morality, masculinity may be toxic. More than anything else, a dedication to integrity and decency is a must for true and authentic masculinity. Instead of trying to one-up people or impose your will on them, you should make a conscious effort to channel your manly strength for a higher good. Being a good guy is the most important requirement for being a true man. A man who, despite difficulty, upholds moral principles only out of a desire to do good. 5. Set authenticity free. Each of us comes into this life in a unique way. Different benefits, drawbacks, strengths, and limitations apply to us. And despite our best efforts, neither life nor the way that advantage is distributed via the genetic lottery are fair. Most men wallow in the injustice of life for the entirety of their lives. They bemoan their upbringing, the abuse they must put up with, the injustice of our social and political structures, and the irritating irrationality of human existence. They enable their excuse of the day to justify why they are unable to live the life they desire, using their seeming lack of privilege as an alibi for being mediocre. The uncomfortable reality is this, though. It doesn't matter who is to blame, life is unjust. What you're going to do about it is all that matters. You only have two options in life. You can either resolve to play the cards dealt to you as best you can and assume absolute, whole responsibility for them. Alternately, you may turn around and accuse someone else, squandering your life in a useless pity party and blaming society, your parents, or the president for your flaws. Men who were less fortunate than you, who came from less privileged backgrounds, who had lesser socio-economic position, and who had gone through gruesome tragedies that you can't even begin to understand, have accomplished success, joy, and contentment. You are not excused, either. If your life is not going the way you want it to, if your job is terrible and you're imprisoned by your money, if you've been unmarried for 5 years and experience social anxiety, if you're unfit, overweight, and a few burgers from a heart attack, whether it was your fault or not is irrelevant. You are in charge of bringing about change. You can only really enjoy a life that is fully male by taking radical responsibility of your circumstances, letting go of your justifications, and resolving to do what must be done, come hell or high water. You can only then have any chance of living the life you are destined to live. 6. Decide what is most important to you and act on it. When you consider the greatest men in history, men whose names have endured for centuries, and sometimes millennia, you'll see that they are all connected by a single common thread. A fierce and ambitious goal that outweighed their fundamental desires. By definition, great and truly manly men do not live their lives for their own benefit alone. Their main objective is not fame, fortune, or prestige. Additionally, not all of their efforts are directed on enhancing their own credibility and reputation. All men who make a significant contribution to society and leave a lasting impression do so for a cause greater than themselves. You need to live with this kind of purpose, a goal and mission that are so compelling that you would be prepared to sacrifice everything to achieve them. For the majority of men, this purpose can only be discovered via struggle, sorrow, and investigation. And for many of you reading this, your goal may be to uncover your purpose through experiencing new things and learning about the things that really matter. You cannot discover your purpose by simply taking a step back and reflecting. And it's not something that will readily or easily come to light. It is up to you to discover and define your own mission. Something that results from gaining difficult experience, success, or failure. Something that might require years of hard work and personal growth to learn. But once you do, your life will have more purpose and motivation to wake up every morning. You will grow from here into a formidable power. 7. Keep your ground when all hell breaks loose. Finally, and most significantly, you need to learn how to maintain your composure in the face of chaos if you want to learn how to be a manly guy. When faced with difficulties and obstacles, most men tend to withdraw. They seek refuge in hiding and running, letting ephemeral feelings control their decisions. They are prisoners to their instincts, frequently motivated by fear and shortage, rather than being guided by their values, vision, and goal. However, guys who are genuinely masculine, men with real power, integrity, and backbone, remain anchored. Like any male, they experience stress, overwhelm, and terror. But these emotions don't have any influence over them. Instead, they adhere to a fundamental set of principles that guide their daily actions. They are aware of their values, principles, and goals in life. And they take all the required steps to live up to it. They are not intimidated by hardship or swayed by the general public's viewpoints. They remain calm in every circumstance and make decisions based on principles rather than the feelings of the moment. Because they are aware of how volatile and transient their emotional state can be, the manly man is aware that she lacks both consistency and reliability. No matter what occurs, you have to maintain your composure. If your boss fires you, your wife leaves you, your business fails, and it seems like your entire life is collapsing, keep your feet on the ground and don't waver. When anxiety, overwhelm, and despair are present, remain sensible and look for answers. When nothing seems to make sense and nothing seems to be going your way, when it seems as though everything you've ever worked for will be destroyed in a single instance of bad luck, keep your perspective and never forget that you can get through anything. Being grounded does not include denying or suppressing the psychological and emotional realities that affect your life. simply that you are not driven by them into fit of wrath and acts of defiance that are frequently referred to as toxic masculinity. Boys from men, followers from leaders, are distinguished in these chaotic situations. You accept the misery and make every effort you can. Although you experience tension and overwhelm, you manage it with tiny actions. You experience spontaneous rage and anger, but you control it and channel it into productive forward movement. The power of your male spirit and the quality of your existence will ultimately depend on your capacity to maintain your composure in the face of difficulty.